Here's Benjamin Hall on the Jaguar system to play Cybermorph. Let's see how those beastly graphics and intricate moves that only come from 64 bits of Mega Power feel. Then, Cybermorph only on Jaguar by Atari. Get bit by Jaguar.
To master Katsumi Ninja, and to defeat the evil ninja Gyaku, you need razor-sharp reflexes, superior strength, and a really good cheat sheet with all the death moves.
Katsumi Ninja only on the 64-bit Jaguar.
Yeah!
And I say to you, my brothers and sisters, hell is a deep, dark, foul-smelling prison of the damned. Filled with fire and brimstone, lost souls and demons. And how do you escape this eternal damnation? You blast the nasty pink demons right between their beady little eyes.
Doom for the 64-bit Jaguar. The best Doom ever. Introducing Alien vs. Predator for the 64-bit Atari Jaguar. You might not want to play it alone.
Ah! Mom.
You don't need a return ticket where you're going. This is a one-way journey.
Straight down!
Welcome to Cooking with GamesMaster. Tonight, we'll be making a great show. First, take some video game violence, mix in a liberal dose of blood and a sprinkling of breasts for the boys. Cook until the complaints flow and serve with 3 challenges. Now today, we're baking these challenges in a pecan gory sauce because every game today is guaranteed to offend. So, let's go over to GamesMaster for the first one. Oh, that's not gonna work.
The first challenge of the proceedings is the blood-soaked, beat-em-up Katsumi Ninja on the Jaguar. The 2 characters I've selected, the Brave and the Ninja, are both unforgiving types, armed with some spectacular special moves. Since this is the Gore show, keep an eye out for some truly gruesome fatalities.
And letting the first blood on our Gory special, we have Carl Wright and Mark Veal. Okay, this is the Gory show where we're doing everything sick and disgusting. Carl, what's the most sick, disgusting thing you've seen in your life?
Well, it has to be my mum's casserole, doesn't it?
I take it her name's not Delia Smith then.
No. This thing tastes better coming up than it does going down.
Mark, what about you? What's the most disgusting you've ever seen?
There was this one dead cat I saw get run over.
Excellent. What did it look like?
Well, the eyes were bulging out a bit and it did smell.
Oh,
no, that was left over my mum's casserole, mate. Got that wrong.
Right, while we await the avalanche of complaints from parents everywhere, we'll take a look at today's news. First, we have a gruesome story from the world of the internet. The latest addition to the National Library of Medicine is the Visible Human Project. Top murderer bloke Joseph Jernigan donated his body to medical science, and boy did they make the most of it, carving his bits into 1800 slices, which were photoed and placed on the internet for scientists around the world to study. Played in sequence, the images form a macabre journey through the body. He is seen from front on. The spine is revealed before finally passing out through the back. Not even Mystic Meg could have anticipated what was to happen to Joseph after his death. First, his frozen body was cast in styrofoam for protection. Hang on, wasn't the styrofoam what Rolf Harris used to play? Next, Joseph's body was put in a fridge for 4 months, basically because the scientists forgot it was there. Next thing on the agenda was to reduce him to more manageable proportions, 4 pieces to be exact. And as you'd expect with such a high-tech project, the scientists used only the very latest in cutting technology. Yes, that's right, they sawed him up into 4 with my Uncle Frank's hacksaw. I told them it was a bit blunt, but they didn't seem to mind. At this point, the doctors were joined by some blokes from Do It All. Even when a couple of millimetres of the body were lost at each saw point, those crazy doctors kept on smiling. Keen to show off their handiwork, they then removed all the styrofoam. Then, bored with looking at it, they decided to freeze it again, this time in gelatine. Now looking more like a flesh-flavoured ice pop than a man, Joseph Jennigan could be sliced 1 millimetre at a time, framed, and then photographed. Smile, please. This gave scientists a view of the body travelling from the head down to the toes. Further analysis gave scientists the images travelling from side to side through the body, right through the spinal cord and finally out of the far arm, and travelling from front to back through the face. This is a computer-generated model of Joseph's right knee. Try doing this on your PlayStation. Eventually, the whole body will be mapped this way for anyone to explore it in minute detail. As yet, the journey from top to toe takes some beating. The computer manages to work its way right through the... Certainly be the first time I've ever been inside one. Right, we're just about to play Katsumi Ninja. It is very gory, so if you are offended at all by blood and stuff like that, then... Joss Bilson from Total is with me. Joss, what's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen?
Most disgusting thing? Had an operation on my eye a couple of years ago. There was an infection in the back of it, behind the eyeball, and there was this horrible gunk in there, green gunk. They had to scrape off the back of the eyeball with a scalpel thing. Got a lot of blood in there as well, in the back.
Excellent.
Horrible mess.
How could you see it, though, if it was in your eye?
They actually took little pictures of it with one of the tiny cameras that doctors have. Amazing use of technology to take pictures of the back of my eye.
Oh, get on with it.
OK, right, best of luck, Carl, best of luck, Mark. It's a 3-bout situation. Whoever wins 2 of them will get a golden joystick. Let the fighting begin. OK, Carl is playing the Indian Brave on the left, Mark is playing the Ninja guy in the dark pyjama suit. At the top of the screen you can see the energy bars, their swords, the more blood that's on the swords, the weaker the character is getting. And it's the Indian Brave, really, Joss, that's taking a pounding in the early bits of this fight.
He has indeed. The Ninja's come out very well, surprised him with an early teleport, and he's got a couple of fireballs in. A couple of good high kicks as well, but hopefully the Brave will fight back now.
Oh, nice throw there for Ninja. Well, that took quite a bit of energy off the Ninja. He didn't seem to be going for the kill though, the Indian Brave. When he's got him down, maybe he should be going in more, Joss, yeah?
No, what he does, he wants to keep pounding away, get a lot of damage done, and then go in for fatality at the end. That's what we want to see.
Oh dear, this is good. The Ninja's got a couple of big moves here. What are we going to see here? He kicks him, he's down.
That's it.
So this jumps right on his head.
Look at the gore on this. I've never seen that much red in a video.
Lovely finale there. So Mark takes the first bout. Off we go for bout number 2 then. A bout that Carl, as the Indian Brave, must win. What do you want to see then from the Indian Brave this time, Joss?
I want to see the Indian Brave get his knife thrown. And he's doing a lot of good work close up.
He seems to be a bit stronger, actually.
He is stronger, he's a big fighter. When he gets in close, that's when he's doing the damage.
He's tapping a disco beat on the Ninja's face there.
He is. He's not a pretty lad, but he's effective.
And in fact, the Ninja hasn't... Oh, he's just got a couple of hits. Oh, a couple of fireballs that are knocked the Brave up. This is a much better round from the Indian Brave.
He is. He's putting up a good fight here. Hit him in the back of the head. The Ninja's in a lot of trouble. Here's a finish move.
Down now, what are we going to get here? Oh, it's an uppercut to finish it off. So that means that Carl... Oh no, he's put dynamite in his head! And his head's gone, which means it's 1 bout all. Time to go for the third and final bout now. Who do you think's going to win at this stage, Joss?
My money's on the Ninja.
Right, and he's a bit scared actually, Joss.
You reckon he's a runner?
He doesn't want to get in the green. He doesn't want any of the close-up rough stuff.
Would you? Though, look at the size of that man. He's enormous.
I'd be more frightened of his waistcoat, actually.
It's not pretty, is it?
Okay, the Indian Brave is getting up pounding this time. You can see from the blood on the sword. He's doing very badly.
Good throw. Ninja's moving about well. He's got him where he wants him.
Okay, the Indian Brave's very far behind now. What would you do if you were playing the Indian Brave now, Joss?
The Indian Brave, we've got to go in, got to try and get in close, get a good few hits. High kicks like that are good.
But I don't think he can come back now.
They're just going behind the pillar there.
What are they hiding
Steering
for?
up you slightly. Oh, bit of a comeback from the Indian Brave. This is a great comeback now from Carl. But it might be too little, too late. Oh, he's bringing
a lot of
coming
punches.
back.
That is where he's so effective.
Oh, this is great. Oh, lovely flying spinning kick. He's on the ground. That's it.
so wet
It's
for
over.
us.
The Ninja's very much. There are 2 minutes to run. Well, Mark. Bad luck, Carl. Now, Mark, in that last bout, I think the way you were fighting, the words big girls and blouse come to mind. Mark, you think that's a fair description of your tactics?
Well, yeah, he was a worthy opponent. And
Yeah.
it's the best challenge I've ever had. So.
Yeah. Carl, big girls blouse tactics?
Yeah, definitely.
And I noticed at the end of that first bout, you did the head stomp on you. What was going through your mind at that time?
His foot.
Well, I'd love to be able to give the joystick for humour, but unfortunately we can only give it for games playing, which means that Mark gets to go to joystick. Another round of applause for Mark and Carl. Another satisfied punter walks away with a higher percentage of skip in his step. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at this. What? Sorry about that. Right, it's time to get gory. We trawled the vaults to bring you the sickest games around. But before we really get going, here's our reviewers with a recap on what's apparently made people change their pants in the past, beginning with Mortal Kombat.
One of the things that bafflingly got people very worked up about Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 was, of course, the death moves or fatalities. Perhaps the most potentially frightening is when Baraka switches out his knives from his wrists and plunges them into the chest of his oppressor, lifts him above his head and lets him slide down while still twitching with the last bits of life dripping out of him. That could possibly be the most gruesome thing I've seen in a video game.
Tim's obviously led a sheltered life. Anyway, next up was some have described as the video game version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but they are Sado's Doom.
Doom has a pretty horrific atmosphere. This is compounded by the manual, which describes levels like knee-deep in the dead and the shores of hell. It's all very schlock horror, but once you actually get into the game, the actual atmosphere created by the great graphics and the amounts of blood spraying around is quite creepy and disturbing. You can genuinely get a fright when you turn a corner and find a zombie stood there with a machine gun.
Heretic is the latest game to jump straight up the jacksie of the Doom bandwagon. The game's a medieval version of the classic PC game and allows you to look up and down as well. Other additions include new weapons and an improved multiplayer link-up. If you've got the original Doom, you can spice it up with one of the many Doom patches available. This Alien add-on has creatures from the film, new levels and rude sound bites. Slightly different, there's Barney the dinosaur, that annoying Energizer bunny, Daleks, and even Bill Clinton. Back to our reviewers, and finally a game that everybody's heard of but never played, the tabloid-friendly Night Trap.
In Night Trap, what you basically had to do was catch the bad guys and stop them from getting to the girls. Whenever the bad guys would go near a trap, operate that and catch them. Simple, easy peasy. However, if you didn't catch them in time, they would then go on to do nasty and terrible things to the girls. As again, it failed, because I just let the bad guys go and they went and got the girls in whatever way they saw fit.
Adrian Price, proof that playing video games doesn't turn you into a complete arse.
Bollocks.
Charming. Right, now the results of our search for gore, and death moves reaped an abundant harvest. Katsumi Ninja has some of the best.
No mercy.
And here's the Indian Brave showing that why take 2 bottles into the shower when you can just wash and go. A special mention goes to the arcade game Bloodstorm for death moves like these. In the shoot-'em-up department, Corpse Killer sounded promising, but just at the last minute, it turned out to be shite. So it was down to the arcade game Revolution X to pump up the gore quotient, and you can even shoot people while they're having a dump. Less frantic but occasionally quite gruesome, Burn Cycle is another CD game that stirred our fleeting interest. On a different note, Ecstatic is not particularly gory, but with scenes like these, it is strangely disturbing. Big breasts can be scary to the uninitiated, so imagine our horror when we find a pre-released Double D version of RoboCop vs Terminator. Spot the difference. Here's the released version. Shoot dog blokes. Now the uncensored. That surely must deserve a booby prize. Special mention must go, though, to the first Mega Drive game that was ever banned, the aptly named Splatterhouse 2. Admittedly, the game is gory. There's skulls, there's blokes walking around with ice hockey masks on and they kick red blood-covered things. You even get the chance to chainsaw a couple of babies. But at the end of the day, we came to the conclusion that the reason the game got banned was not because it was scary, it was because it was shite. 11th Hour is supposed to be scary, but despite spanky graphics, my pants remained obstinately dry. At the other end of the spectrum, Snatcher boasts some truly appalling graphics like this. For an adventure game, Police Quest 4 had a surprisingly good body count.
Air 100, we have an officer down.
You go to work and find your best mate's been tortured. Open the trash can, and hey, there's the kid next door. You can't even make a sandwich without taking your work home. More Marmite Vicar? But this had nothing on I have no mouth, but I must scream. What? Thrown into a world where everything is falling apart, you're forced to make tough ethical decisions, like, what do I feed the dog to get it to help me? Answer? The heart of one of your mates. This game is officially mental, and when push came to shove, we even had to eat some baby food.
My shoes and Mum's steak knives. They're covered in blood.
If things were going wrong for everybody in I Have No Mouth, etc., we really felt for Bob, hero of Darkseid 2, at home recovering from his exploits in Darkseid 1.
Mum's still cooking at the stove. Nothing unusual there.
Foolishly, he mentions the bloody steak knives. Things just don't go right for Bob. Even bar stewards rip him off.
Hey, I'm thirsty. Can you get me a drink? Here's something to fill your belly, human.
When you're this unlucky, it's best just to leave things well alone, even light bulbs. Well, that's what comes of wearing trainers with a jacket, American twat. No, the truth is, there's not nearly so much gore out there as one would think. Harvester's probably the most frightening game we came across, with a genuinely disconcerting atmosphere and a fair share of gore.
Is that what I think it is?
Yep. It's a spinal cord, all right.
Is it Stephanie?
I don't know. The only clue we got is that card propped up on a pillow.
But when it comes to gore, you can't beat a good old death move. So, we've put together a top 10 of fatal flourishes, beginning with the crap ones. At number 10, somebody told us that Way of the Warrior had some good death moves. They lied. Cliched ninja attempts the old he's dizzy, so I'll rip his heart out move. Oh yeah.
You don't have the guts.
At number 9, Katsumi Ninja bloke with grey pants comes up with a new cure for athlete's foot. At number 8, more primeval pugilistics from Primal Rage with a homage to the Brookside body under the patio. Number 7, Bloodstorm, a chick with PMT gets violent. Number 6, and Way of the Warrior goes some way to redeeming itself, courtesy of a wisecracking sheepshagger.
Hang in there, mate.
Pointed humour, can't beat it. At number 5, a Primal Rage dinosaur gets in one of those really itchy jumpers and rubs it all over his mate. At number 4, no top 10 would be complete without a death move from Mortal Kombat, but with so many to choose from, we ended up with a split decision. Back to Bloodstorm for something to fill that little gap in your life. But in the runners-up spot at number 2 was Primal Rage once more, bringing new life to the phrase, pissing all over your opponent. But top of the pops by a clear margin. Yes, he had to be in there. It's our favourite Scotsman from Katsumi Ninja. All together now.
Okay. Anger, win.
Tonight's extra special celebrity is currently fiddling around with his curling tongs. While he's doing that, let's go over to GamesMaster and find out what he'll be playing.
My next challenge is a game on the Jaguar. This time on the shoot-'em-up Alien versus Predator. Predator. Kill, 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 kill. Players must enter a labyrinth infested with interplanetary mischief makers, where they'll have 60 seconds to rack up as many points as they can. The slime-drooling aliens will earn 1,000 points, while the less numerous predators fetch a bounty of 5,000. We are guaranteed a gory contest.
Well, as you know, we strive hard for credibility on this show, and that is why tonight's special guest is none other than RoboCop. I said for ages this challenge would be pathetic, but did they listen? Did they bumhole?
Somewhere there is a crime being committed.
And the crime is arse actor in crap costume. Let's forget this ever happened and go to the consultation zone.
Welcome to our very special consultation zone, where I'll look to shed light on some of the darkest games. Who dares to be first?
GamesMaster, I can't get any further on his Statica on the PC. I've come to a room where there's a small door, but I don't seem to be able to get through it.
It is the way to go, but since you're too big to fit through it, try a bit of magic. First, collect a twig from the church, travel to the house of the drunken bear, and make your way upstairs, carefully avoiding your host's vicious lunges and desperate halitosis. In the room containing the book, drop the twig into the funny-looking pot. Now, collect 2 more items to complete your spell. A flower from outside the church and a shrub. Take each of these back to the book room and put them in the pot too. Before you can say, Paul Daniels, you will be transformed into a little weasel who can pass through the door and continue on this most worrying of adventures.
Thank you. I am forever in your debt.
Who else wants me to plumb their depths?
GamesMaster, when playing Isle of the Dead on my PC, I find that my shotgun isn't powerful enough. Can I get a better weapon?
I'll tell you how to get tooled up. There's a second, more powerful shotgun in the shed next to the decaying skeleton. But if you try to use it, it will blow your head off. So use the oil on the rag, then the oily rag on the gun. Now you can fire this super gun and keep your head too. Easy when you know how.
Cheers, GamesMaster. You're a star.
Any other simple ones?
Hey, big guy. When I'm playing Banshee on the Amiga, I get really annoyed by the polar bears. There must be a way I can liven them up.
This one's easy. On the high score table, type the following reprehensible code. I am exquisitely evil. This way into you in the kill the polar bear mode, where you'll be able to put a grisly end to his cuddly capers.
Thanks, GamesMaster.
Let me indulge one more query.
GamesMaster, I heard for the arcade game Bloodstone, there were some nasty fatalities on it. Can you tell me how to pull them off, please?
I must confess to enjoying a strange sensation observing this flesh fest, especially when the blunt-witted razor spreads a little happiness with this special meat grinder fatality. To execute this objectionable move, get close and press forward, back, back, and arm. Then watch your opponents open their heart to you and let it all come pouring out.
Yeah, say through, boy.
Even I sometimes run out of interesting things to say, so I'll bid you farewell. Goodbye.
This is Oakhurst, California, right in the middle of redneck cowboy country. The kind of place where if the police catch you speeding, they just take you out their field and say, go on, try and get my gun. It's here, in a new multi-million-pound studio that a spank the new CD-ROM game is being filmed, Fantasmagoria. The game could prove to be the goriest one of all time, but it all started with a piece of paper and a bloke called Bill. Now these are some of the actual drawings from Fantasmagoria?
Yes, these are the concept sketches. I'll begin concepting an area and let it develop kind of slowly and work with our technical people to ensure that, in fact, this can be constructed and made.
In FMV adventures in the past, some of the acting has been a little bit, how shall I say, cheesy. What are the actors like in Fantasmagoria?
Oh, no, these are very professional people. This is not like other things that you've seen.
Jimmy Hill. Anyway, I headed over to the studio to check it out and found the two lead actors going through their paces. She fancied me immediately, but then her bloke was grumpy.
Don, let's leave. Please. We gotta get out of here. Look what this place is doing to you.
Leave? Leave? This is our home, Adrian.
They begged me to interview them, but I said I'll only do it if I can sit on a picnic blanket. How different was it, like, doing a CD-ROM game acting as opposed to TV and film?
It's quite different.
It's a lot more technical.
Much more technical. We'd be in the middle of the scene and doing something, and they'll go, wait a minute, your arm's in the wall. Which wall is it?
Yeah, I mean, you have to completely use your imagination for everything because you have nothing there but, you know, just the other actor.
Having done it, what do you prefer? Or maybe you shouldn't say it.
Oh, CD-ROM, absolutely. It's hands down.
This was all getting a bit too nicey-nicey for me, so I headed off for some light relief in some toilet somewhere. Now she obviously slaps it on with a trowel, whereas this lady here, this is actually Judy Finnegan without her makeup on. And this girl, actually, she's in two minds about the whole thing. Strangely aroused by what I'd seen, I set off to confront head honcho Roberta Williams, and I asked her if it was big and clever for a bird to make a gruesome game.
I don't think of it as gruesome. It's horror. You know, horror is a horrible subject. Horror is scary. You know, horror, haunted, like a haunted house. But I really think of it more as a thriller. You know, it's a thriller. It is a scary story. But gruesome isn't a word, you know, that I think of in terms of Fantasmagoria.
Right, bollocks to that then. We'll just have to resort to that other mainstay of late night telly instead.
I want to fulfill your fantasy.
Indeed. There's no shortage of quality PC software available to keep the one-handed typists amongst us busy. Apart from straight porn, there's legions of so-called games that seem to have little to do with the competitive spirit. Games like Perfect 10 Bikini, in which you have to match the judges' scores in a bikini competition, featuring such contestants as Dottie, Sherry and Jeannie. I fancy them all because of their enormous personalities.
Whoa! What I wouldn't give to do her plumbing.
More innocent fun can be had in Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, a deeply absurd game in which the object is to get John the Plumber and Jane the Bird into each other's arms.
Hi, my name's John.
God, he's cute. Great looking bod, too.
Along the way, if you don't make the right choices, you can end up in a spot of bother with Jane's boss.
Take your clothes off, Jane.
No, the path of true love does not run smoothly for John and Jane, but if you've got half a brain and hours to spare, they'll get there in the end. Blind Date offers more dating conundrums, this time as you attempt to win over official Fitbird, Sandy.
Hi. Want to shoot some stick?
I beg your pardon? Sandy's a strangely difficult woman to please.
That which does not suck is cool.
In fact, she's a completely mad bird. I spent ages chatting with Sandy, but I didn't get too far.
Wow, I cannot believe how late it is. You know, I have to get up early tomorrow. I have a 6 o'clock meeting with my Celibacy Anonymous group.
Well, pants to you then. Fire was the first game to present a thinly disguised espionage plot as an excuse for ogling birds. It was pretty weird too.
Up on your knees. Yes. Good. Very good.
Now take your reward.
But of this genre, my favourite is Spy Club. A truly seminal plot involves you infiltrating a woman's health spa to track down a KGB spy. The first thing you've got to do is get past the receptionist.
Hello, Aero Spa Health Club.
Luckily, all this requires is the presentation of a cuddly toy.
Special delivery.
For me? It's from you. Oh, you darling, he's so cute.
And she certainly loves her teddies.
Oh, yeah, that feels much better.
You're welcome. Once there, it's a simple case of checking out the residence for suspicious activity. This person, for instance, is quite obviously a Russian spy. And so's her mates. If you can't charm women out of their clothes, don't worry. Help is at hand in the multitude of parlour games where all the girls love a winner. We fancied poker. Competition was serious with page 3 girls like Maria Whittaker at stake, and despite being complete novices, we were soon getting our cards out for the birds.
Let's play.
Our pleasure, and with only 12 roulette numbers to bet on, the chances of winning in Winner Takes All seemed pleasantly favourable.
You win.
And it wasn't only the odds that were stacked. This bird was showing us how she kept her dice in such good condition. Get the other one out.
My favourite game is Scissors and Stones.
Yes, the old playground game was a favourite of ours too. Simply choose one of 3 items and hope that when you go for your hand, she doesn't pull out the scissors.
You lost.
Blocks. Yes, Sandy revelled in teasing us. And not only was Sandy an expert at the game, when we did win, we discovered she was wearing 4,000 million items of clothing. Of course, we persevered, and she finally opened up to us. For the man who thinks all this foreplay's a waste of effort, there is Penthouse Interactive. Meet Cheryl, she's cheeky. Rusty, who likes to get everything off her chest. Fleur, who loves Haagen-Dazs. They're all just waiting for your instructions, and as Penthouse cameraman, your job is to shoot them from all the right angles.
Good camera work. Let's see what you can do with another lady.
How about your mum? No, this isn't Plumbers Don't Wear Ties Mark II, but one of the racy films contained on a CD-ROM that comes with new magazine Digital Dreams. In a novel twist, the mag mixes fit birds with video game reviews. We saw this as reason enough to make our way to Digital Dreams HQ in the hope of seeing some top action. Unfortunately, we met this bloke, Steve Shields, mag editor. We asked him about the video game reviews, but he was intent on telling us about the Digital Dreams Theatre.
You can access the movies or enter the stills gallery to see exclusive still pictures of the girls within the book, but they're all very static, so what you basically are going to be more interested in is probably the moving footage.
Spot on. But Steve, with all these birds and that goatee, do you get time to sleep?
I commission girls to be photographed, but I don't actually go and meet them.
Well, we're obviously talking to the wrong bloke then, pillock. Meet Rick Porter, top bloke and photographer on Digital Dreams. Surely he must be at it all the time.
Well, it depends really how the day's going. I mean, obviously when you're sort of working with a girl who's taking her clothes off for you, you're kind of getting a rapport between the two of you. So it depends if that spark is there or not, whether sort of you get involved once the camera stops rolling.
Git. When you're as lucky as he is, everything goes right for you. Tell us about it, Rick.
Well, I was actually at a location, checking out a location for a future shoot. And a crew were filming there for another video company, and one of the guys hadn't turned up, which is a common occurrence in the business. And so they said, you know, could I just stand in? So I did.
Anyway, back to reality. And just down the corridor, there was Madame Zach, who runs the Pleasure Dome bulletin board system. If you've got a PC, you can log onto the board and download samples of Digital Dreams and other top-ranking publications, contribute to interactive stories, and chat with the mysteriously named woman herself. It sounded interesting, so we thought we'd check it out.
Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. I'm Madame Zach. Let me guide you around our fantasy world.
Well, we did say it was a Gore special.
I gotta get some balls when it comes to meeting chicks.
Yes, having a big lighthouse and the rocks to stand it on certainly helps. I should know I score with birds every day. So here's my 5 top tips on how to pull more than your pud.
Pool's a game. Relationships are work.
If the conversation should turn to work, steer clear of voicing dodgy remarks like chick should never work.
Now part of you won't work either.
Oh, there goes the family allowance. Number 4.
I've got lots of guys.
Slapper. Anyway, buy very expensive clothes, drive fast cars, and don't ask whether she buys her leotards from Tesco's.
Here I'm looking for value in a guy, and you sound cheap.
I certainly am. Numero 3. By all means try the risky boast about your genitals approach, but not if you have lank hair.
What do you mean, help? You saying I ain't man enough for you? I'm just your size.
You won't be after this.
Ooh, that feels much better. Bear to bear, the way it should be. Be it bear to bear, no underwear, anywhere, everywhere. Let's share the bear.
Number 2. Steer clear of lunatic bird poets. But number 1, when you're dealing with Terry, the world's first virtual girlfriend, lick her neck, legs, ears, nose, everywhere. She loves it.
That feels great. Ugh. I know I'm gonna pretty soon. Oh, baby, you are such an animal in bed.
That's what my mate's mum said. Now we're finishing this GamesMaster Gory special with the sickest, most bloodthirstiest game of all. Let's go over to GamesMaster to find out what it is.
My final challenge is on Doom 2 on the PC. Like the original Doom, the idea is simple. Kill or be killed. And as usual, there's enough carnage to satisfy the most demanding of Gore fans. The contestant has 2 minutes in which to dispatch 25 alien denizens before they reduce him to a bloody pulp.
Now, we're very lucky to have a Doom expert to play this. Recently voted the greatest Doom player in the world by a panel of me. Please welcome Derrick Clark. Welcome, Derrick. Okay, settle it down. Now, Diamond, this is the GamesMaster Gory special. What's the most disgusting thing you've seen in your life?
I think it's got to be seeing a friend of mine sitting on the back of a motorbike and throwing up inside his helmet.
What was it like when he took the helmet off for him, was it?
Well, you know how you get the side effect which just sort of splatters out as he frantically tries to open it? Yes, it wasn't pleasant. So.
Excellent. Quick message to anybody eating their dinner at this time. Right, Dharma, if you'd like to sit yourself in the games playing log, we'll get ready to begin. And raising the stakes of fashion higher than most of us can afford, Dave Perry. Dave, what's the toughest part of this challenge?
Well, I must confess I've been talking to Dermot, and he feels that if he can get to the staircase where there are 4 guys that are firing flames at him, if he can get there, past those guys and take out a machine gunner who'll teleport in with 50% health, he's going to be home and dry.
OK, thank you, Dave. Dermot, best of luck. You have 2 minutes to destroy 25 nasty denizens, and your time starts now. So off goes Diamond. He's taking out the monkeys first of all. Bottom left hand corner, you can see the health. Bottom right hand, that's the armour. Quite good just now. He's coming up. That's his 4th kill so far. Good start, Dave.
Very good start. Yes, he's been very precise. He's just picking them all one at a time. He's chosen to ignore the chain gun, though.
Village people. That guy was in the Village people. We had the Tashi and everything. OK, he's up to 6. His health's taking a bit of a walloping now, though, Dave. 33%. Will there be energy power-ups he can get some?
Yeah, there should be a power-up along here somewhere for him. But at 22% now, he's very, very vulnerable.
And there's some more of the chain gang boys. OK, a bit quieter now, a bit of time to rest, recuperate, get his thoughts together.
Watch out as he comes around this corner, they're going to be waiting for him.
Big bold shotgun boy, and he's been going for 42 seconds. He's got 2 minutes to do the challenge, so time-wise he doesn't have a problem, Dave.
No, he's still choosing his shotgun, he's still being precise, but time-wise he's well on schedule.
Now they're taking bites out of him, but there's energy power-ups here as well.
He's lost his temper, he's got his chainsaw out now.
It's blood frenzy here!
He's got a vendetta.
And he's gone, energy's gone down a bit now. He's not going to go through that little dark passage.
No, I think that's a good decision to go to this room, but as he comes to this room, he's going to meet plenty of opposition.
Yes,
here we go.
He's carbon water, he's doing well, he's got about 7 to get. He's got about 6 more to get.
He doesn't care, he just wants blood, he's bloodletting.
1 minute 17 seconds to go, there's only a few more he's got to get left.
Straight into the crowd with his chainsaw in front of him, just down to 1.
But he's busted belly at the last one. Dermot has done the challenge with 1% energy left. OK, now, Dermot, that was very, very close at the end there. And what was the trickiest part of that for you?
Definitely getting up the stairs. I made a real mess of it getting up to that point. And
a bit like your friend in the bike helmet.
I felt pretty ill, yep. No problems. But they didn't shoot me and it was close.
But everyone's happy in the end?
Certainly are.
Apart from the blokes you've left lying with blood gushing out of them in there, of course. All right, so congratulations, Diamond. You've won the special Gory Golden GamesMaster Joystick. Well, that's it. I'm off to make people watch the last series of GamesMaster. See you later. Bye-bye. May you rot in hell.